the show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Counts, wait time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet B-Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Counts, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Count.
The Two Count. The Two Count, where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 21st of June, and we are here. We hope you are going to be joining us. We have a fantastic guest. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, Tom. Give us a big introduction, buddy.
That's right. This week, we have a very, very special guest. Not just very, very, very special guest. He is the current AWF champion, a previous a first-time MAW tag team champion, also a former Future Class champion with Higher Ground / Showtime Wrestling. He is the revolutionary Bill Williams, everybody. Give it up for Bill Williams, everybody.
Yeah. What's up, dude? Thanks for having me. My
hello.
Appearance on Twitch. This is new to me, so testing it out with you. Pretty cool so far. That was a pretty nifty intro.
Well,
it was expensive.
Like.
So expensive.
I'm already impressed.
So expensive. A couple of fellas from Argentina put that together. Of course, English is their second language.
Oh, okay, bueno.
So they did pretty good.
It really, really comes off to like radio-y, like where Jay and I come from.
The last part, the guy, I had a guy do that promo because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Wait, so who's the lyricist in that?
Oh well, that was kind of mostly mine, because the guys are from Argentina and there was a little bit of loss of translation, right? So, they skipped a couple of words, but that's okay.
Bob Dylan-esque.
Kind of. They were. Yeah.
You haven't heard his first song he wrote though.
Well, Bob Dylan or JR?
By JR.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can find that to even play it.
I mean,
let's just keep that in the memory bank.
We'll just go on about our business here, and if I can come up with it, Bill, I'll play it for you. But I'm telling you, it's good shit.
Sick. Something to look forward to.
Well, of course, he decided to take advantage of the fact of a few people trying to make a buck here and there. So, I mean, I know it's probably against your code of ethics as the revolutionary Bill Williams, but we do have a capitalist system here. So I'm going to let you know right now, you might be outnumbered a little bit.
People always question me about that when I'm slinging merch on the side of the ring there, but sometimes you got to use the tools of the system to dismantle the system itself, and so I'm on board with capitalism in that sense.
Well, see, there you go. As long as you can understand that there's a rhyme and reason to everything. I don't know why I'm even trying to go after you right now.
Who's this person saying hi to us? Is that like somebody watching?
That's King of the South. He started watching us last week.
Yeah.
And is involved in a promotion down in the Memphis area.
Okay.
901 Wrestling down in Memphis.
Hey, Memphis.
Yeah. They have let's see, Black Lodge, July 2nd. I still have that pulled up from last week. So
Memphis in my top, I'd say 3 American cities that I have not visited that I would like to visit.
What are the other 2?
Boston is number 1, and Memphis might be 2. I mean, just off the top of my head, there's a couple other I can name, but I don't know if I put any of them ahead of Memphis. Austin, Texas, Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow, kind of touristy spots there, buddy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like to see the country.
You gotta throw your revolution where it's comfortable, right?
Yeah, or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's most needed.
yeah, especially if you go into the South, it might be a little bit more uncomfortable down there with some folk, but it's not a big deal.
Roll in Memphis. They know all about it in Memphis.
Well, I mean, they know blues and they know old like rockabilly. I don't know if they know rock and roll like
Maybe.
nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of rock and roll, though, let's just get this out of the way. You have a Rage Against the Machine song as your entrance song,
Mm-hmm.
Hell
and
yeah.
you do all of these family-friendly shows. I got to ask, man, has any kid come up to you and ask, what does your song mean?
Well, I have I have to get together, Mr. Bill.
It's called Like a Bomb, like about it.
So I have strategically chosen a Rage Against the Machine song. So many that would be great entrance themes, but I have strategically chosen one that has an absence of profanity.
Mhm.
So Calm Like a Bomb works for family friendly shows in that sense. And I would say if you're not educating your young children about the misery and oppression that exists in the world as a result of our history of imperialism and repression, then you're not doing your job, and I guess I got to do it for you.
Well, I mean, however you want to say it, I know full well that when that music hits, there's a lot of people who are quite confused because I see a lot of people who are in their mid to late 30s who grew up on Rage Against the Machine. When that hits, they want to start rocking out, and then they realize they have a 2-year-old right next to them who they're trying to get into the classic styles of wrestling, and they don't know how to act. I've seen literally like just blank faces. I mean, literally, I saw you defend the title. 2 weeks ago now, back in down in Egan.
Yep, Egan.
Yeah,
Successful defense against Nick the Natural Nelson.
That's
Nice.
true.
Nice.
I mean, that's literally why we had this, or we kept this date on the books, because you won. If you had lost, we would have been like,
you had booked Nick instead.
No, because I mean, no
Kinda
offense
annoying.
to Nick, but
This is the first time, by the way, guys, we've let Tommy go just the first 7 minutes of the show on his own here, kinda, and this is great.
oh yeah, because I know what I'm doing. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the moniker is Top Shelf Tom Chilstrom. Okay,
Yeah.
like there's a reason I'm here, guys, and that's because I'm 1, the draw, and 2, the personality of the fucking show. Anyhow, back to Bill, idiots. Fucking shut up, Ace, idiot. See, you threw me off track, and now I don't know where the fuck I was going with that.
Well, now, Tom, your name is Top Shelf Tom Chilstrom.
Yeah.
Would it upset you to know that the brand of vodka that I use in my Moscow Mule here is none other than Princeton, Minnesota's own Kharkov?
Yes.
$12.99, plastic
baby.
1.75.
I mean,
Well-
that's how you did it back in the day, man. You had to.
Back in the day, that's how I did it 5 minutes ago when I ran
Well, that too, yeah.
out to a drink.
Now, see, I
Kharkov
can't,
and Red Dog, baby,
Yeah.
making that minimum wage.
I can't fault you because I know what you do as a living outside of wrestling right now.
Poverty wages.
Yeah, so and just to include everybody, because you can follow him on at Big Cat Bill Will on Instagram and Twitter, and you'll see what he does in his life because he'll share it here and there. The man here is a school teacher, everybody, so he's fighting the good fight on 2 fronts. He's trying to break down the walls of capitalism in the ring, and then also teaching your youngsters about communism in the classroom. It's just fantastic. And also, too, recently honored for your accomplishments as an educator by the Minnesota Twins, no less.
The
Wow.
Minnesota Twins, who as of right
Congratulations.
now, they are still division champions. I don't know what the score of that Twins Guardians game is. I believe we might have had first pitch, a minute or two ago. But yeah,
I
as of-
forgot they changed their name to Guardians.
Yeah, they
till
are
you
the
said
Guardians
that.
now.
I was like, what the hell's a Guardian?
Yeah, they guard things.
It's a
Oh,
politically
that's
correct
hilarious.
rendition of what they used to be.
Yeah.
Oddly
But,
enough, they changed to Indians from Spiders and then decided to still go with Guardians. It's like,
I mean, what a missed opportunity. Like, you look at what Seattle did with their new hockey team, the Seattle
Yeah.
Kraken.
yeah,
That shit is sick.
Right.
it is.
And then Cleveland goes with the Guardians. Washington goes with the Commanders. I mean, you can pick anything in the world, and those two franchises picked about the most boring monikers they could have came up with.
Well, now here's the thing: Commanders shorthand. A lot of people have started calling them the Washington Commies. Are you on board with this or no?
I suppose I am in that case. Yeah, sure. I mean, when I think Commander, that to me sounds like that kind of still harkens to some general in a war of conquest or something like that. But yeah, if he's trying to spread the good ideology of socialism across the land, then I'll sign up for that battle any day.
Well, I'm going to leave that up to you. I feel like we're going down a dead end on that route, because I think you and I might have some differences of opinion. But you know what? You're a friendly guy, so I'm going to let it go. And
Nice
just try and open up to some other questions here. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of dominating the conversation. So,
What's up, Malice? Welcome to the show.
Malice. Our good friend down at Madhouse Wrestling there.
That's right. Malice, Bill Williams right here. He's a good guy.
Mhm.
Check him out.
Very good.
August 6th, Knoxville, Iowa. It's going down, Madhouse. Show number 2, and Malice just sent me something, too. They're working on some cool things, so it's going to be awesome. But, Bill, I want to get into this. He said you're a teacher. Awesome. Congratulations about the twin thing, too. That's awesome.
Thanks.
But, and you probably would get this on any other show you go on, but I'm really just interested to hear how, the whole educating and wrestling all, how did that happen? What was first? How did it, what did the kids think? What, are they wow, my teacher's a wrestler, too? This is awesome.
I wish they bought more of my shirts.
Oh, them little shits.
Yeah.
Support.
Send a letter home to the
pick up
parents.
another shift at Target or something.
I'll give you that B, but you all better buy this shirt and an 8x10.
See,
But
that's the thing. Hustling like that would actually do you great service. Hey, kids, buy a shirt, buy a hat. You actually do. Your merch is actually a lot better than a lot of guys.
Yeah.
That's for sure, too.
Well,
So it's not like some
there's a
stupid
couple
face.
kids. There's a couple kids who have done me a solid and found my website, and we'll sport my merchandise around the halls of our shared high school. But yeah, as far as the two professions, how do they go together? I mean, really, they fit together pretty well. Obviously, teaching is a day job, a Monday through Friday job. Wrestling is more nights and weekends, so in that sense, the schedule works. And I think they provide a lot of good yin yang too. So whereas when I'm in the school building, I definitely wear a different hat, so to speak. I behave much differently than I do in my personal life, much differently than I do in the ring. Certainly, I'm not clotheslining anybody or bicycle kicking anybody or setting anybody up for my finisher, the ghost of Robespierre, which is a TKO. Although, sometimes there's some kids who I'd like to saddle up for that move. But in that sense, they allow me to tap into different parts of my identity and express myself in a different way. Both are performances in a way, but they're very different.
It's a way of putting it.
And yeah, for me, it's been just a great, kind of partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Do the kids get a 5 count if they're cheating? That's a great question.
That's a fantastic idea. David, I see that note sheet. I want it away in 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's great.
I got the 5, Mr. Williams.
So, wait, have you had any, what's the most, have you had to have any, awkward conversations, coworkers or parents that are what are you doing? That's don't understand it?
I don't know about awkward conversations, but don't understand it. I mean, anyone who's in any way involved with professional wrestling, either part of the business or just being a fan, knows that people on the outside don't get it. So there's intrigue, there's curiosity, there's confusion, but it's fun. Sometimes when you can get those colleagues or those kids or those parents out to a show, they have a better time than the hardcore fans do, just because it's such a novel thing for them to experience. And so, I'm always super excited when I come out to the ring and I see a familiar face in in the crowd that I know isn't a wrestling fan, whether it's because they're from, my school or just any realm of my life outside of wrestling, because I know they're kind of in for a special treat, something they usually don't do or don't get in their life.
Right. So. That's awesome.
Have you ever had the situation where somebody who you were associated with or have an acquaintance of from your day job shows up unknowingly in your wrestling?
Unknowingly, like they bought a ticket and came out to see me wrestle.
Oh, no,
sure.
I'm talking about they bought a ticket. They didn't know you were wrestling.
Oh, no, nothing like that. The closest thing I have to that is that I've met a couple other wrestlers who are involved in education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whether that's, and I know there's a couple wrestlers out there who are involved in special education, either as professional special education teachers or paraprofessionals. I know there's a certain wrestler that comes to mind that is kind of performs like a dean of students role at his school. I don't think technically that's his title, but very much is an administrative presence in his school, which is also a school that prior to my current job I used to work at when I was going to grad school and just doing substitute teaching around the metro and stuff like that. So interesting overlaps like that, but never anything. If I ever run into anyone at a wrestling show that I know from my school, it's usually it's always been because they're there to see me. So
I love it. Bill, so like, when did the seeds for wanting to be a pro wrestler get planted? And like, when does it start becoming reality? And then was being a teacher always on track too, as well at that time?
Yeah,
going through like high school and stuff.
So I don't know how many aspiring pro wrestler listeners you guys might have in your audience, but I always think that my story is a good example of choices and sacrifices and opportunity costs when you're trying to pursue something like pro wrestling. Because I wanted to be a pro wrestler, right when I got out of college, in my early 20s, I began looking for opportunities to get trained to be a pro wrestler. But one of the things that made that really difficult, or I guess not really, well, one thing that made it really difficult more so than anything else, is there was just nowhere to get trained around here. The Academy of School of Professional Wrestling didn't open until I was 30 years old, and that's when I started training. But there wasn't really any establishment like that here in the Twin Cities prior to that. So in order to get trained, you had to be willing to move, to travel. And I remember talking to Thunder Frog. Actually, I knew Thunder Frog way before I got into wrestling. And he would tell me, go to Philly, go to Chicago. But there were just, as I pursued my teaching career, there were reasons that whether that was grad school or job applications that I was applying for here in the Twin Cities area, that I couldn't make that move to Philly, to Chicago at the time. So as I'm chasing my career, which is also a dream in one way, that being a social studies teacher, I'm kind of finding that being an obstacle to pursue my wrestling career. And so that finally, that obstacle came to an end when the Academy School of Professional Wrestling opened in Brooklyn Park in 2017, 2016 maybe. I started in 2017. But, I look at like a lot of the young guys now, a lot of the young guys that I actually started with who were in their late teens and early 20s. And it's just super interesting to watch them walk that balance, the ones who want to be career wrestlers and that's all they want to do. And they got all their eggs in the wrestling basket. And then you got the other young guys who they're trying to do wrestling, but they're also going to school or got a job or that they're trying to advance in and stuff like that. And so, that's my story of how I got into professional wrestling and how I kind of balanced that with my educational career. I got there eventually. So it took me a decade longer than I wanted it to, but
you still got that belt. Then. You still got that belt.
You still got that belt. Yeah,
that's true. And, I got to ask, since you mentioned the Academy, of all the people that you graduated from the school with, I mean, and there's been quite a few successful graduates of the academy. Who was your favorite, and then also who was your least favorite? Because I have a feeling I might know who the favorite is, but I also have a feeling I might know who your least favorite one is.
Well, I'm gonna take kind of a cop out here when it goes with my favorite. There's
Okay.
a lot of my academy brethren who I'm big fans of, but I really do believe that my class Charlie, was the most talented class. I actually have a picture right up here on my bulletin board that I can pull down from you here and kind of hold up.
Yes, please do.
This isn't all of us. I'm gonna try to get up to the camera here, but this is a good segment of class Charlie here. We have
JDX and
Free-Range
Coda
Kara in the back there. We
Yeah.
have Sebastian Taylor, JDX, Coda Jacobs, Damon Spriggle, who I believe just debuted his YouTube channel today. You can see me in the front there looking tall. We got Frank in the back, Andrew Wilson, Nick Bjerke. I don't know if he was even technically part of Class Charlie, but we'll claim him. Obviously, right up top there, Dante Martin. Man, is there anyone out of Minnesota wrestling in the last couple of years been more successful than him?
Is that Brandon
Spindler
Gore
right up
just-
front too? He's
Is it-
ran wrestling shows. He's done a lot of filming and stuff like that. So we had a really successful class Charlie. That was the third class to come out of the Academy School of Professional Wrestling. And so find me a class that's got a bigger, more, dispersed success story than our group, the third group to come through there.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, JDX is also a prior AWF champion, so that's a huge thing as well. And Coda Jacobs, I've seen a lot, either with when it was Showtime, and then also now I currently see him do a lot of stuff with Ironheart Pro. So, and of course, we all know Kira.
And for least favorite, I'll go Kyle Pro. Far and away my least favorite. Just
Well, I mean, that is fair. I mean, because
he's
again,
not a good person, and so Kyle Pro is my least favorite Academy graduate.
well, for anybody who's not in the know, by the way,
What's that?
for anybody who's not in the know, Bill Williams here did beat Kyle Pro for the AWF Championship. So, in my old school, my old stopping grounds up there in Elk River, aka a shithole, but we don't talk too much about that anymore, because I've clearly grown past the days of Elk River being the top shelf town Chilstrom now. But well, that's cool to know. And also too, I know for a long time my good friend Ricky Noren, who you and him teamed up to be the Renaissance Revolution, and you are the first ever MAW tag team champions.
Yeah, and we're two-time MAW tag team champions. I don't know if anyone else has accomplished that feat in MAW yet, but we were two-time MAW champions. Ricky is not a graduate of the academy, but man, he should be. He is. Anyone who's been following his career over the last couple of years, that is a talented dude. And some of the stuff he's doing now with the death. I don't know about this preacher stuff. I'm not sure if I want to worship at the altar of Ricky Noren, but he's my guy. I respect him. He's doing his thing, and I would love the opportunity to be in the ring with him again someday.
Well, and I see, honestly, that's actually why I really know you through Ricky, which is a great segue and stuff too. Because again, I know he for a long time had teamed up with Riley and ESQ to form the firm, and they started the hashtag Beat Up Kyle Pro, which is still to this day one of the very favorite hashtags I've ever seen in pro wrestling, because it's very niche. And I saw Kyle Pro about a month ago when I brought that up, and he started laughing hysterically because he had forgotten about hashtag Beat Up Kyle Pro. And then I tagged him in a photo and said hashtag Beat Up Kyle Pro, and the first one to respond to that was Ricky Noren, which is fantastic.
How does a guy that gets beat up every single weekend forget about a hashtag like Beat Up Kyle Pro? That's fine.
Well, I mean, Kyle. Yeah. I mean, he seems like the kind of forgetful guy that would forget that.
Goldfish-like.
Very good point. Very good point.
King of the South. So Bill went to the academy when you were there. who was there training at that time? Just so King of the South knows, he asked.
Well, I ran through Class Charlie, but I mean, a lot of the people that you see out on the Minnesota circuit and beyond now, Brandon Gore is actually in the background of that photo that I was showing. So he was a class ahead of me. We already mentioned ESQ, Airwolf, Riley.
Who were the trainers?
Jackson, Devon Monroe. Who were the trainers? Well, when I started, it was Ken Anderson, Sean Navari, Eric Cannon, and Molly Holly.
Mhm.
But throughout the course, but at the time that the pandemic kind of knocked everybody off course, Ken Anderson was a lone trainer there, and I believe that's the case today, aside from when they pull in guest trainers and stuff like that.
Dude, how great was Molly Holly?
Well, I only met her twice, but she's super nice, and I never got any direct training from her, but it was really cool the couple times that she came in and told us stories and stuff like that. Big pop from me both times that she appeared in the Women's Royal Rumble, once as Molly Holly, the second time as whatever her superhero gimmick is.
Super Molly?
Yeah. And she actually is a graduate of the school that the school that I currently teach at.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's another connection there.
Fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I got to ask too, by the way. So you mentioned Brandon Gore earlier, and I will admit he has the worst tattoos in professional wrestling. Have you?
And he stinks.
Well, he does. Yeah. I mean, he's the natural athlete or whatever the hell he tries to.
Legitimate athlete.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, legitimately stinky.
Have you tried to pass him off to your tattoo guy? Because you have a lot of great tattoos. Have you tried to tell him that he can find better people to ruin his body with?
Yeah, I should, because there's tattoo artists say they could do wonders with that dumb little bear claw he's got tattooed on his chest.
It's
like
the worst.
They could take that atrocity and actually turn it into something appealing to the common wrestling fan's eye. So maybe Brandon Gore, if he's out there watching, if he catches word of this, hit me up, B Gore, and I will connect you with some of my tattoo artists. Matt Coling down in Rochester, he's done a lot of my work. He used to work at Uptown Tattoo. He's tattooing everyone down in Rochester now, but Uptown Tattoo, Leviticus Tattoo, a lot of great tattoo shops up here in the Twin Cities. So.
It's very true. I mean, I only mention that because, I mean, when you mention Brandon Gore, the only thing I think of is that really shitty bear paw or wolf paw or whatever the hell he wants to call it. And then,
well, now when you think of that bear paw, think of it and imagine like a really bad smell too.
Oh,
and you'll really get what it's like to be around Brandon Gore.
Well, and again, I mentioned the Egan show, and he was on that one, and he had a hell of a match where they went. Him and Jordan, I think, is who he fought.
Yeah.
And they kind of went all over the event center there in Egan. And then he got an old smooch from his girlfriend there, which was awkward because it kind of looks like it could be his sister. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. I don't try to start wars, but Brandon Gore is not a guy who intimidates me. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Not sure where he's from, but, the further you get from the center of the state here, the more that kind of thing is semi-acceptable. So
I think he might be from up there in was it Benton County?
Yeah.
It's like the Alabama of the North.
Potentially.
Let me ask you this then, Bill. Try to get off some of this very, very close Minnesota wrestling talk we got going on right now. What do you find more rewarding? Because obviously molding young minds, dealing with kids, and getting to kind of be a role model for them, yet getting to be in a ring and be like a superhero in front of crowds and kind of being, you know what I mean, a hero that way and a role model that way. What do you find more rewarding? I mean, I'm sure they both are very rewarding in different ways, but does one edge one out a little bit?
And that's a really good question. And you're right in the sense that they're so different that it's tough to compare them. I think, wrestling is more rewarding for childhood me. It's me living out that childhood dream. And I still do at times just pinch myself It's not like I'm headlining WrestleMania or anything, but even though I was pursuing wrestling pursuing wrestling as something to do early on in my adult life, it was one of those things that I had a lot of doubts would ever really come to fruition. And so the fact that it actually has, that I've actually, got shows lined up more weekends than not, that I'm coming up here on 150 matches as a professional wrestler, that I've held titles, that I've got shirts with my and posters with my name and face on them, and people pay me to wear those shirts. Like it is one of those things, and I bet this is a sensation for a lot of wrestlers where you're like, damn, I chased that dream and it actually came true. But yeah, education. I mean, especially coming off, I'm a week and a half into summer vacation here. And, you asked me this question around February, March, and I might have a little bit of a different sentiment.
Yeah.
Not a lot of rewarding stuff happening at that point in the school year where you're 7 months in and you're 5 months into winter and the kids are sick of it and the teachers are sick of it and they're sick of each other. But once you get to the end of the school year and summer vacation's right around the corner and the weather's a little nicer and we got prom going on and senior skip days and, the spring sports are in high gear and you just kind of got all those good vibes going on around the school building and you got like the last days of school and whatnot. Kids say a lot of nice things. Kids give you cards, they leave you comments on like their final essays and stuff like that. They send you emails and they really, if you're a teacher and you're trying to get out of teaching, that's the tough part is you might be ready to quit in March. But then that first week in June rolls around and all these kids say all these great things to you about how much of a difference you made in their life and what an important role model you were or influencer you were and all that stuff. And that stuff, really, really hits at a time when you kind of need it after 9 months of really hard work. So if I'm going to compare the two, I mean, I think education might have a little bit of a edge when it comes to like that higher level fulfillment and stuff like that. But man, wrestling is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So what's the biggest high that you've had in wrestling to this point?
I did a show, and this is a good plug for what I'm doing Friday night because I'll be down in Newmarket, which is close to where I grew up in Prior Lake, Minnesota. But my first show in around the Prior Lake area was with Ricky, Renaissance Revolution, at Nison's Bar in Savage. I should know. It's one town over from where I grew up.
Good old Savage.
Yeah, like 80 friends, family, whatever. Like people who hadn't come to like my first 20 or so shows because they were far away and they were all around the state, all came out for me and showed up. And I got to make my entrance as a face, and they let me have it. Like I got to come out, I got to give high fives, and man, did it feel freaking awesome. Of course, then I got in the ring and cut a promo and turned on all of them right away.
Yes.
But so that was cool. But what was even, as far as like a homecoming moment, even cooler was I did a show with Mitch Paradise's, and this is the plug for Friday, Paradise City Wrestling, which is kind of a new startup, and he runs down in that area in kind of like the southwest suburbs. And we did a show in Montgomery, and a bunch of friends and family came out to see me again. Not 80, but a solid like 20. And the crowd was hot, and I was a face in that one going against the system. And man, as a face with that hot crowd and a lot of people out in the audience who knew who I was and were rooting hard for me, one of them being my 3-year-old niece, and like the videos of her are cheering me on are just amazing. But that match with that hot crowd behind me was one of those matches where I got done and I'm like, holy crap, that was frickin' a good time. And so I'm really hoping to kind of try to recreate that this Friday at down in Newmarket at under the big tent at the Double Wide, and I don't know who I'm facing yet, but I'm hoping some of my people will show up, and it's it's a bar show. It's a late show. It starts at 8 o'clock, so people should be good and lubed up and hoping to have a good match and a good time.
Hell yeah.
So you mentioned Friday you're at Paradise City Wrestling down there at the Newmarket Elko area. And then Saturday, we see on the 25th, you are defending the AWF title against Jackson Larkin. I don't know anything about Jackson Larkin. I don't know what you know about him. But what are you looking forward to for? What are you looking forward to on Saturday, by the way?
Well, I'll tell you this too. Saturday, I don't know if you saw it. So I have the match in Cambridge, free show, Cambridge AWF. I'm defending my title against Jackson Larkin. Man, I hope I can make relatively quick work of him, because after I defend my title there in the opening bout, I have got I don't even have time to change out of my tights. I got to hop in my Ford Fiesta and drive down to Maplewood for a match against Connor Hopkins in Battleground Pro Wrestling at I forget the name of the church, but that's either 7 or 7:30 bell time. And so I got 2 matches one night, hoping to go 2-0, especially in that first one, and retain that AWF championship against Jackson Larkin. But Jackson Larkin, man, he's a big dude. He's a mean dude. I've actually been in the ring with him before in was it a fatal 4-way or a 5-man scramble? One of the two. So not one-on-one, but we had some exchanges, and I came out on top on that one. So hoping to do it again on Saturday.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I don't know much about him. I briefly looked through his Instagram and see he's out of Chicago, which anytime a solid Midwesterner or Minnesotan more specifically can beat anybody from Chicago, I am all for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that town is too damn ippity for my liking. But that's just me. I don't want to talk too ill about other fine Midwestern cities, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a good city, but come on, Minneapolis never gets its due.
You know what? Actually, I shouldn't say too much, because Second City Wrestling, wherever I find
Second Wrestling.
Yep, Second Wrestling. Sorry, they actually didn't follow us on 2 Count here, but they did promote tonight's episode. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. They threw out a little story. They grabbed the 2 Count story with you there and put it out there on their story. So, shout out to Second Wrestling. Thank you so much for that.
I'm making my debut with them next week.
Wow. Yeah. That'll be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, we've seen you, like I said, Higher Ground or Showtime before, and where you're the Future Clash champion, MAW. You mentioned Pro Wrestling Battleground. You are the AWF champion. We've seen you at First before. What other things you got coming up other than Second Wrestling? Like, what else you got coming up? Where else can we see you in the Midwest?
Bunch of AWF shows coming up in July and August. I'm really stoked for a couple of first shows I got coming up too. One at Whiz Bang Days in my adopted hometown of Robbinsdale, Minnesota. That's Friday, July 8th at the Lakeview Terrace Park here in Robbinsdale. Another big show at Bauhaus Brew Labs, August 14th. That's the first show.
Oh yeah, we're going to be there for that.
That is always off the chain.
Love that one.
Yeah. So that usually draws 700-800 folks, and I think we could have done even more last year. So maybe we'll expand the venue a little bit. And
that's such a cool venue with the train track right there and stuff.
So sick. Yeah,
so cool.
It's not a train track; it's an old foundry track there, Ace. But
no, there's a train track there. Haven't you been there when the train comes by during the matches?
Oh, I don't pay attention to that. I watch wrestling.
No, because I knew a guy who works on that railroad, and he was like, "Dude, we came by the Twin Cities. There was like a big wrestling show going on outside." I was like, "I was at the show." He's like, "I was on the train." Anyways,
thanks for that backstory. Anyhow, back to the real.
I mean,
star
it was
of the
essential to the plot here, Tommy.
Sure.
I just think it's cool that you're friends with the conductor.
Fucking right, dude. Hell yeah.
Don't give him too much credit, Bill. All right, come on, please.
As I'm listening to you tell that story, I'm just like picturing you with your friend in like pinstripe overalls.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Shoveling coal and everything.
Yeah.
100%. I like that we think of like old school cartoons when we think of
bunch of jackasses.
All right, finish. I'm sorry, Bill. Go ahead and finish your plugs. Tom's mad at me now.
Oh no, that's it. That's
Okay.
That's off the top of my head. Some of the cool stuff I got coming up this summer.
And then again, real quick, guys, we'll flash up social medias at Big Cat Bill Will and on Facebook, Revolutionary Bill Williams.
Oh, nice, and you got the spell check right. I had typed that Bill Williams.
That's all right.
Yeah, so.
You didn't have to let anybody know that. You're a teacher. You didn't have to let no one know that. I was protecting you. We got a couple more segments.
That Bill Williams is pretty popular though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should workshop it in some of these more greater Minnesota shows and see how it works out.
Twin Magic, there you go.
Yeah. It's too late. You've done 150 matches. It's too late now.
Yeah.
I'm stuck with William.
Which that's a big milestone, man. Congrats on that too. You're killing it. Congrats on 150 matches. The Twins are recognizing you for being an awesome teacher. This is good times for you.
Yeah.
So what we want to do now though is we should really just make it Q&A time, because we say rapid Q&A, but we're all old and slow, so it never goes fast.
Me too.
Mine are usually fast, and I'm the oldest.
Okay,
Sometimes, JR. Sometimes you fall asleep too on the show.
No, I don't ever fall asleep. That's false.
That's true. He fell asleep once before the show started, and we almost didn't start because of it. But
you should have started and just let that be part of that show. And
at that time we were on the other system, and he had a full control. But
you can't launch it all, so
it was a great reason to be late, though. I thought it was hilarious. And thanks for the hype train, everybody. Oh, it's still going. Thank you for the hype train, everybody.
We're up to level 3.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You guys are awesome.
So we're just gonna throw questions at you, man. Just some are wrestling, some aren't.
Let's hear them.
Getting to know you. I'll start. Tommy goes, and JR goes. So, first question is Jolly Rancher flavor.
Green apple, bro.
Okay. I don't trust green apple people, but okay.
I'm not a big candy guy, but I just had some. I forget what they were called. Some green apple treats at the beach yesterday, and it just kind of made me momentarily be like, "Yeah, fucking green apple rocks."
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
So you have "Calm Like a Bomb" as your entrance music. Is that your favorite Rage Against the Machine song, or do you got another one?
No, my favorite Rage Against the Machine song is not a Rage Against the Machine song. This will harken back to the beginning of the program. It's a Bob Dylan song, remake, Maggie's Farm, Renegades album. They changed, I'm not a musician, but they changed like the whole, well, actually, is it that one? Or Ghost of Tom Joad, Bruce Springsteen song, covered by Rage Against the Machine. But yeah, that Renegades album where they cover other cool revolutionary songs by other artists and put the Rage Against the Machine thrash metal spin on them. Freaking sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Maggie's Farm is also the end credits of The Other Guys. So check that out.
There's a tidbit of shit nobody cares about.
Get fucked, JR.
What's your favorite post-match meal, Bill?
Post-match meal, I always bring a Lenny's vegan cookie to my matches. So, right, because I don't like to eat before the show, so I'm always pretty famished after my match. So right when I get back to the locker room, I open up my Tupperware where I got my cookie, which is in its own casing, but I keep it in the Tupperware so it doesn't get crushed by all my shit. I open up the casing and I have myself usually either a double chocolate or a snickerdoodle or a birthday cake. Lenny's cookie, 420 to 440 calories, 16 grams of protein. It's a good post-match snack.
Nice.
Shout out Lenny's Cookies, hopefully for a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of vegetarian wrestlers out there. Hit me up.
Right. All right. Favorite manager of all time wrestling.
Oh, favorite manager of all time. I'm not ready for this. Oh, who is? Can I go with what was his name? He wasn't a manager, but he was Jericho's security guard.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, not Festus.
Is it Ralphus?
Ralphus.
Rufus.
Rufus?
Ralphus.
Something
Ralphus.
like that?
I think it was Ralphus.
Jericho's my guy, so I'm going to go with Ralphus.
Oh, I love
it. Do you prefer the Revolutionary or Big Cat?
So the way I look at it is the Revolutionary Bill Williams is like my official name, and Big Cat is kind of my nickname. So I prefer both interchangeably. They are both me, and I am both them.
Fantastic.
What is the furthest away you've performed?
The furthest away I've performed would have to be my first match, which was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
6 hours away I drove to find someone who would allow me to wrestle in their ring. Yeah, that was Angel Armani. I don't even remember. Actually, I do remember the name of it because I have that up here too on my little shrine to myself. MIAW Wrestling presents the South Milwaukee Rumble. That was on January 27th, 2018.
Wow.
Very cool. Nice. Last movie seen in a theater.
Oh my God. Last movie seen in the theater? That had to be like a half a decade ago. Oh, I don't even know. Maybe Midsommar.
Okay.
And I've been watching a lot of movies, but we weren't big theater people. We're kind of like, we like to watch on the TV, on the couch, pause, go mix another Moscow Mule, watch 5 minutes, pause, go get the pizza out of the oven, watch 5 more minutes, pause, bring the plates back to the sink, watch 5 more minutes, pause, go take a leak and make another Moscow Mule. So I don't do a whole lot of theater movies, but Midsommar around there. Pet Sematary. Usually if we're going to the theater, it's to see like a scary movie.
Okay.
The new Pet Sematary or Midsommar, one of those two probably.
Who was your JJ?
Who was your favorite comedian, stand-up comedian?
Well, I got to go with Mike Lester. It was what we were talking about before we went live, right? Mike frickin' Lester is the funniest dude I have ever seen in my life. He is local. He shouldn't be. He should be national. Maybe, I mean, I know he does shows around the country and stuff like that. But every time I watch that guy, I'm just like, how is this person not got like his own Netflix special? Because he is just that funny. And I hope he's coming back. Like I told you guys, I just saw him in the basement of the Corner Bar about a month ago. I hope he's coming back to the Twin Cities this summer. I was just looking at his page the other day and I couldn't find anything, but I didn't try that hard. But yeah, people watching out there like comedy, find Mike Lester, follow him, and then you can let me know when the next local Mike Lester show is, and we'll all get tickets and we'll go together and we'll laugh our asses off.
He's also a wrestling fan, so I might be able to get him out to a show here one of these days.
Yeah, bring Mike Lester to watch me perform. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He'd probably heckle you, which you'd love, I'm sure.
Yeah. Tell him not to dress like a child molester, though. He always kind of looks like someone who you wouldn't want to bring your kids around, and most of our shows are kid friendly. So
he can't help.
Maybe he's got something deep in the closet that doesn't scream "I like little kids," but I don't know. He can go out and buy something. I'm sure he's making big bucks doing all this comedy. So
I'm afraid it's that leering smile that he has.
Yeah,
not his clothes.
Yeah, maybe it's more in his face.
Yeah,
yeah.
Slight sidetrack here, actually.
Yeah, wear a COVID mask.
Yeah, this title right here is for the Atlas of Comedy. Him and I used to do that show, and he was Mike the Molester because he understands how creepy he looks. Yeah. So you're right, he understands, and he's not that way. Thank God.
That's good that he's self-aware about it.
Yes.
All right, so we mentioned Ricky Norn before. Who is your favorite person to tag with?
I mean, it's Ricky Norn for sure. But as far as other people that I've tagged with that I've really had a good time, I mean, me and Downtown Petey Brown,
that's our boy.
Yeah, we were the purple team. It was the last match before the pandemic took hold in March of 2020, like March 7th. We were the purple team at the Roseville Mall, and we took on Slasher Scene. I don't believe that it was a productive outing for us, so I think we're still 0-1. But come on, Downtown Petey Brown, you pull a lot of strings behind that AWF curtain. Get the purple team in a match. Let's get our record back to 500. Let's take on a couple clowns that get brought into the AWF and get the purple team going again.
You're not wrong. I mean, in that Elk River show, he also got not taking advantage of, but he also got sideswiped by the program there.
Yeah,
so I think you guys have
versus Nick Nelson and Stonehenge. Let's go.
Bill, might I introduce you also to our house tag team, Fancy Ketchup?
Fancy Ketchup?
Yeah, these two cats right here.
Oh, yeah?
It's the redhead thing.
There we go. Purple team versus fancy ketchup.
They won't take a bump, so you'll win by DQ.
That's not true. That's not true.
I'll take whatever I fucking need to.
On last week's show, Tommy and I basically agreed to let Justin Decent train us in Iowa.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. Let's get it on the calendar.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. I listen to a lot of music that would constitute as guilty pleasure. Oh, look, there's a cat there. Are cats guilty pleasure? Because I take a lot of pleasure in cats. But yeah, I like a lot of music. Like what's some music I was listening to today that I gotta look it up here. I don't know if I'm gonna find it now. Now I'm just sitting here looking at my phone. But yeah, let's just go. I love the Backstreet Boys. There we go. Yeah, I love chick rock. I love Sheryl Crow. I love Natalie Imbruglia. I love Sarah McLachlan. I love what's Melissa Etheridge.
How about Alanis?
Oh my, how did I miss her? Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. Come on. Actually, once I did come out to "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Good song. But Uncle Joey, if you believe the myth.
Two more or one more each, guys, and then we'll get into the Tom game.
Fair enough. So again, a lot of areas throughout the Midwest. What is a promotion you want to work with that you haven't yet?
We talked about Chicago earlier. I had my eyes on freelance. It just makes a lot of sense. Chicago being pretty close. I know a couple of guys that work for freelance. It looks like they had a pretty sick ladder match there relatively recently. I saw big basketball player. I'm blanking on his name. Dorian hit a sick. He caught one of the Bang brothers. He was standing halfway up a ladder. One of the Bang brothers does like a springboard off the ropes. Dorian catches him with one arm and just hits him with a flatliner off the ladder. So that was sick. And I've had a match against a couple of those guys actually. So Trevor Outlaw, I believe, works for them. So I'd love to get down to freelance and do some work in Chicago.
Nice. Have you performed other than wrestling? Any other? You're big on music. Have you performed music at all? Have you done any other type of performance?
No, never done another type of performance. Have thought about. I don't think I have it in me to be a stand-up comedian. But you know what? I think I should. At some point in my life, this is like an unofficial bucket list item. Go to Acme open mic night or some open mic night and try to do 60 seconds. Just get up there, feel what it's like,
it's 3 minutes.
Embarrass myself, and put 10 years into writing 1 minute of material, then go up and watch it absolutely flop, and give me that, even more respect for what guys like you do with the stand-up comedy.
It's 3 minutes for first timers, man.
3 minutes?
I'll tell you what. It is it's a rush, man, when you do it. JR is I did it for what, like 4 months, JR?
Yeah.
I opened mic with you.
Yeah.
So JR is the one that got me to do it. And I mean, he was there the first time I ever did it. And I mean, it's a rush. It's definitely worth trying. If you've wanted to try it, try it.
I know when you go to Acme on a Monday, at least is the way it used to be. If you're a first-time performer, they'll put you up there.
Yep, got to put a star by your name, though.
What's that?
Got to put a star by your name, though.
There you go. So someday I'll go and I'll do the 60 seconds. I'll come up with 60 seconds of my funniest shit and just give it a whirl and see how it feels.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Love it. And Tim Nellis says to just do it. He did it as well. JR introduced him too.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it. It's a rush, bro. It's fun. It really is. Just maybe not do it when Tom's around, because if you do better, he's gonna be a real bitch
Tom
about
gets
it.
jealous.
He's gonna be a real bitch about it.
Here's the thing.
You get like one laugh, he's gonna be like,
Also, Acme's open mic is on Tuesdays now with COVID. They changed it.
Okay.
Yep. So one last question here. We're going to go with one from our chat, Lab Glass Projects, who has been around since the start, I think. What's the worst question you've been asked?
I hate it when people ask me about my tattoos.
Oh, amen.
And that's on me. You know, when you get a bunch of tattoos, people are gonna ask about them. And so I don't fault anybody for asking that question. But I was just talking with a buddy about this the other day because he was like, him and Han, he doesn't have any tattoos. He wants to get one, but he wants it to be meaningful. My dude, actually, if I could do it all over again, I'd get a bunch of tattoos that don't mean shit. So you never have so you can just say that when people ask and because that's what I say half the time anyways.
Yeah.
Because, even I'm embarrassed to even explain half of my tattoos that I got 10 years ago that have like some story behind them that I thought was cool then. And like, maybe I still think it's kind of cool now, but I'm a different person then than I was now. And it is. And usually it's people you don't know, right? So it's like you have this tattoo that's really deeply meaningful and just some dude comes up to you and is like, hey, what's this tattoo mean? And now you got to explain to him like your political beliefs or your lack of religious beliefs or how your dad died or some shit.
Yeah.
So no, just get the fucking tiger growling and swiping its claw, this, not that one, this guy, that guy right there, and you had nothing to explain.
That's true. I've literally had that same question. It's always like, oh God, do you really want to hear this story? Like, what does that one mean? What is like? Oh, it's like, yeah, stop.
Yeah,
talking.
yours has got to be pretty easy though, because it's Speedy Gonzalez. So,
well, that's that one. I mean, there's other ones, man. Like, it's not like it's. I mean, there's other ones here, man. Like, I get asked all the time about the fucking microphone one, and it's just fucking kill me.
You a rapper, bruh?
No. I have got that question. It was like, shut the fuck up. Do I look like a rapper?
Yeah, you look like a
Ginger
rapper.
Ice.
Yeah. You spit bars, bro.
All right, shut up.
Top Shelf Tommy sounds like a rapper.
Oh yeah,
that is the moniker, right? All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna finish up with this. It's the Tom game, Bill.
That's it. There's no words to that one.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Obviously, most people have played the game F, Marry, Kill. This is a very similar vein of that. It's tag, opponent, manager. So of the three of us, Ace, JR, and myself, who would you like to tag with? Who do you want to be your opponent? And who do you want to be your manager?
So as far as my manager goes, I'm going to pick JR. Because JR appears to be the oldest amongst the three of you. Therefore, he most likely possesses the most wisdom. And what you're looking for in a manager is someone who possesses wisdom, someone who can tell you, like, a nice little joke or anecdote in the middle of your match to kind of like lighten the mood if things aren't going your way. So JR is going to be my manager. Tom, I'm going to pick you to be my tag team partner because you are wearing the T-shirt of my former tag team partner, Ricky. The Renaissance Ricky Norin. I'm currently the Reverend Ricky Norin. So that tells me that you and I would have good chemistry in the ring, just like Ricky and I did. And Ace, I'm going to pick you to be my opponent because you have the least experience with wrestling. And so that tells me that I would have the greatest opportunity for victory against you. To be frank, I think I'd have a pretty good opportunity for victory against all of you. But with JR in my corner and Tom on the other side of the tag rope and you standing across the ring for me, I like my odds.
I'll tell you what, having JR in your corner is 100% the move, and you would win because of that reason.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have any help from Tom at all. He would be outside doing whatever he does outside the ring.
Hold on. I have experience with real, hand-to-hand combat here, being a former bouncer.
Motherfucker, you've been to here. Come on, that doesn't count. You watch Roadhouse and jerk off.
Shut your fucking mouth. I can't tell you how many times I hate fucking Roadhouse. I cannot tell you guys. All right. You know what? I'm done with you.
He loves it.
By the way, Tom, I can take you in and you can just like come in and stand there with your arms crossed.
That's what he would do.
What are they going to do?
Disinterested.
Yeah.
That's what he would do.
Ace just takes a run at you and he just hits the floor.
That would never happen.
Bounces right off.
Oh, Tom, King of the South.
He's got your back. That would never happen, Bill. Again, you'll win the match, but
yeah,
Tommy ain't helping you. Anyways, all right. One more time. JR, one of us needs to be director here. I think you should do it. Put his thing up. There it is. Big Cat Bill Will, social media, and then the Revolutionary Bill Williams on Facebook. Got some shows coming up, so check those out. We'll be at that Bauhaus show, so we will see you there. We'll get some nice pictures. for the social medias of all of us together. It'll be a good time. And get your tickets for that show if you haven't yet, because it is one of the best shows of the summer in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Don't miss that Bauhaus show.
Correct.
Bill,
before you go, I did have opportunity to upload the song which I've made, and it's become truly famous the internet over. Here we go.
Forgot about that.
Have you heard of John Russell, the oldest guy on Twitch? He's a little grumpy and he begs for subs and bits. He's live from someone's basement where he goes on pissy rants. He could die while on the air, sitting in his underpants. Follow and sub to WrestleMania. John Russell loves you.
Christ, that was not worth it.
Beautiful.
Can that be my new guilty pleasure?
It sure can.
Absolutely.
Can that be my new entrance song? I mean, like, Calm Like a Bomb. Good, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean, if Gabe's going to be your manager, that would be perfect. But
amazing.
Bill, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Yeah,
we do appreciate it. And we'll have you back on, too. And hopefully a great weekend of wrestling, by the way, too. Paradise City Wrestling on Friday, AWF, and Pro Wrestling Battleground on Saturday. Hopefully it's a successful defense against Jackson Larkin there at AWF.
Nobody knows who he is. It's going to be a win.
Man, yeah. That's,
We can
that's
hope.
what I'm going for, boys.
I'm calling it. Big Cat comes out winning.
Yeah.
That's right.
Continued success, Bill, and we hope to have you on with us again in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, dudes. This was fun. You guys got a cool thing going here, so I would love to come back on the Twitch in the future.
Appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
man.
Perfect,
We'll have you
man.
back for
Thank
sure.
you.
All right.
Have a good one, brother.
Posito Mundo.
Thank you, Bill. All right.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah,
We're
thanks for the
gonna
hype
get
train
into
earlier, by the way, guys. That was really cool of you guys. That's unexpected always. So
for sure. So let's get into whatever you guys want to talk about in chat.
Should I want to just start this in this way?
Because there's been a lot of shit going on this week.
A
lot of shit going on.
But let's hold on a minute. I just want to say, 3 weeks ago, you and me berated the hell out of Tom because he was not going to shed a tear about fucking Vince McMahon. And then Vince McMahon, all of this shit comes out now, and it shows how gigantic of a narcissist he is. And not only does he go out and say nothing on SmackDown, he goes out on Raw after the first match to make sure people are watching his sorry carcass and says nothing again.
Oh, JR, I'm so glad that you started with this, because this is the only real point I want to start with, because little background for everybody here. I was down in Texas last weekend, or basically from last Wednesday through the weekend, and I got back yesterday. And
best comment of the night right there.
Yeah, why would you watch?
I'm not watching the whole thing. I'm speeding through it.
But we had a video chat on Friday night, and I had not watched SmackDown yet. I did watch it on, I believe, Sunday morning. I finally was able to check it out because of Hulu.
And how right were we? You only needed to watch 10 seconds.
Dude. All right. So again, JR and I don't always see eye to eye on this show. But I will agree with him wholeheartedly on this. What a fucking narcissist. He is forced to step down as CEO because of the internal investigation that WWE is going through right now. And then he comes out in Minneapolis, of all places, talks about, like, this is a fine place for him to be. First of all, motherfucker, you never touched Minnesota when it was the fucking Monday Night Wars, because you knew this was WCW territory almost like 100%.
And also, shame on you, Minnesota wrestling fans. I know most of that was piped in, but there is a couple moments y'all popped when you shouldn't have been popping.
I mean, well, people were giving him fucking high fives.
Like,
and shit.
Come on. Like, you could hear, like, the booing a little bit, too. But
a little bit.
Yeah, he was banging a paralegal.
Yeah. And I mean, and of all, like, there's two.
Let me ask you guys this, though. Before we get real super into this. Do we believe it really was a paralegal, though? Or do we think that's even a bigger cover up in its talent?
I don't believe it's talent because they said, and this is one of the big problems, that once he handed her off to Laurinaitis, she got a raise to $200,000 instead of $100,000.
Yo, and Laurinaitis got to deal with them Bella ladies coming at him, man. 3 of them.
Jesus.
That dude fucked up. They'll kill him.
Yeah. So in my relatively unsuccessful history of being around coworkers that are attractive females, if you will, there is 2 demographics of coworkers that I will never ever harass or talk to in a manner like that. HR and anything dealing with legal or paralegals, because they all know the law to 100% and they will fucking get you somewhere down the line. It doesn't matter what the fuck you have them sign. It'll come back to fucking haunt you some way or another, because that stupid motherfucker had been playing this fucking game, and Ace, you sent it in our group chat as far as the genetic jackhammer, all that stupid shit he did in the fucking 90s, 2000s, and even the fucking 2010s. This donkey motherfucker finally came out, and it was true the whole fucking time. All that shit that he did on air with Trish Stratus and Stacy Keibler and all this other stuff, like,
yeah, that's old perverted man living his fucking fantasies out on TV because he pays them. But the other thing too, though, is didn't this happen back in the 80s with a gal that worked there too? This happened. So I mean, like, we obviously know. It was kind of funny seeing it come out that, like, oh, well, it actually it's been him and Linda's been separated for a while now. Were they? Who knows? But it's still kind of funny.
I think they've been separated since she was appointed to the cabinet of Donald Trump. And I think it was only like, I think it wasn't official, but like, I think it was, one of those ones, like, you keep up the facade, but I think they have been separated because of different career aspirations, if you will.
Well, and you got to wonder too, what more is going to come out of this. That's the other thing, is what more is going to come out of this. Like,
you mean with just Vince, or like as a whole?
Just about that company, about Vince, about Laurinaitis, about everybody. All the dirt's going to start coming now. Now that they're getting investigated, now that you can't tell me there's some female talent out there that's like, oh, I've got stories. I've been waiting for this moment. I mean, we already know how they got treated when some of them got let go and they were sending trash bags home to them with their shit. I mean, What do you think's happened that no one knows about but the people there? You got, what's her name? Nia Jax, Leon, whatever her name is, Leon, something like that. You got her making some comments online that's making it sound like she knew a bunch of shit was going down. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what's going to all come out of this?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing also, not just with Vince and Laurinaitis, is also Kevin Dunn with the insider trading shit, like letting stocks go at almost $1 million before this shit came out. And I swear to God, if this motherfucker goes to jail, oh God, I can only imagine how good the product would be when he's not in fucking charge either of production. Holy shit, when that buck-toothed fucking idiot finally goes to fucking jail. Oh.
So now, real quick though, have you guys read more about that though? Because I read that initial thing, but I also read one that said that for some ways it actually wasn't that. So I've heard 2 conflicting things on Kevin Dunn. I haven't heard any confirmation on one or the other. So
I haven't heard anything about that. But I mean, I think it's still under investigation.
Yeah, and then you got Laurinaitis was put on leave today too.
Yeah. Here's the thing that begs the difference, though. Okay, it's like, certainly this was leaked. Who leaked it?
Someone on the board.
Con. Who leaked it? Con.
Nick Con.
Who? I mean, think about this. They released Stephanie left to spend more time with her family, and then got lambasted about how she wasn't doing a good job. Yet they're going to have her still come back? What the fuck is with this?
Well, that's because that's what's up, Danny? Yeah, I'm Pritchard given that power now, which sucks. Well, the thing with Steph, though, is they already said they're like, her coming back already like this is just, I mean, it's him. It's Vince is doing it to be like, you're going to do what I say.
Well, because he
it's
made
his way of still getting his shit in and done.
Yeah, he made it very public that Shane is no longer with the company, right? So he made that very public at the time, and obviously Stephanie is still in the good graces of the Empire, if you will. I assume this means Triple H is too, unless some of those rumors that they've separated too. Which
I just saw something about that today. I can't think that's the case. I think that's a big rumor.
I think that those two actually work very well together as far as personality wise and stuff.
I think they've been clashing with Vince.
Yeah.
But I just want to go back to the Kevin Dunn thing. If he does get convicted of insider trading, that is a very serious thing where Martha Stewart even went to jail for this shit. And I mean, it's not a long time, but you will lose your fucking job over this shit.
My question is, what does this do to the company as a whole?
Dude, it's a publicly traded company, man. So it literally could mean the downfall of their fucking stock. Like this might be
their stock
Chapter 5.
Here's the thing. Their stock during the time when everybody was dumping, theirs went up.
So I mean, I guess here's the thing, right? So you still have people in like fandom wise that will invest into the product to keep it alive. So like some people have said that if WCW would have gone public before their downfall, right? Like they would have broke out from Turner Media or AOL Time Warner at the time. If they would have broke off before then, some people say that they would have survived because of a number of fans that they still had that would have bought stocks in that company and allowed them or given them time to find another TV deal, whether it be re-signing with like TNT and Turner as a whole or moving on to some other venture, that they probably would have been fine. And with WWE, like, so maybe it won't be Chapter 5 or Chapter 7 or 10 or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't think it'd be any of that, to be honest, Tom.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Because if they're going up, like, it might be one of those things where people are buying in because of the fact, like, it's something that they wanted to do anyways, but now it actually seems like there's stocks available at a reasonable price, maybe.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. If you compare it to, for example, Enron, all right? Enron totally went out of business because they were pulling shit company-wide, right? This really seems like it's only a couple people. It seems like it's Vince. It seems like it's Laurinaitis, who's now gone, and it seems like it's Kevin Dunn, maybe. All right? And does more come out about it? Maybe. But the point is, it's just a handful, a couple people. It's the guy at the top. When Martha Stewart was at the top of her company, she went away. Her company's still there.
Yeah, and it made her even more badass.
Yeah.
Right. Malice, 100%. For not the first big billionaire to be involved with this. I don't know if it's the fact that it was the company's money or more so that it was they fired a shitload of people right before she got that giant raise.
Here's where the dilemma within the company happens. It's that point where she's paid $100,000 and then traded off to Laurinaitis for $100,000 raise. Because that's the company money. That's the problem. Vince paying her $3 million. That doesn't make any difference. That's his own money. He can do with it what he wants. I will say this, it sensationalizes the whole thing more, which maybe is the reason why he wanted to go out and stand and walk in front of his people. But the reality is that the fishiness is, fuck, who gets $100,000 raise?
Yeah. And him coming on TV was just him like whipping his dick out, basically.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
So I want to say this real quick. So Malice, do we need to get a hold of Luke and let him know some of this stuff you're saying? Like, sounds
Luke's already worried enough because apparently Malice. I don't know. I heard murder was involved.
There's going to be too much
some ideas.
Stuff,
so I don't know what's going on.
No, I kid Malice, obviously, but no, you're totally right, Malice. As far as what you said, a lot of people have talked to and have had NDAs. I mean, obviously. He can't
talk about it.
Fair enough. But you're right. And we all know like Donald Trump's story with this stuff, and it doesn't really always work out. We know about plenty of billionaires who eventually an NDA comes to term a lot of times people forget that there's statutes of limitations on a lot of things, whether it be laws or crimes, or whether it be NDAs, and people forget that shit. So,
yeah, Rowdy, it's hard not to pop when that song hits.
Well, yeah, but also too coming out and saying fucking very little, talking about fucking, it's a good thing it's Minnesota or whatever the fuck he said. That, in my mind, was almost more offensive because, if you will, the most important things that WWE has done in this town has been SummerSlam '99, the Super Show where Eddie died beforehand, and then
that was actually a SmackDown though.
Well, I thought it was a Super Show, whatever. And then back-to-back bragging rights or TLCs or whatever the fuck it was.
TLC, bragging right, and then 2 TLCs.
Yeah, so...
And let's not forget, we got the Slammies.
That was the best.
Super fucking duper. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, his connection with Minnesota, in my mind, has literally been avoiding it at all costs during the Monday Night Wars, and then also burying the AWA. I mean, that's a whole nother thing, but
yeah, I mean, I'm just interested to see like where this all goes.
Yeah, I mean, time wise, obviously it worked out as far as like what was happening with news with the company, and then him wanting to be there because he never. It was very clear in every article I read that he was still going to be an on-air personality. So now we might have to fucking deal with this Mr. McMahon character every fucking goddamn episode of either Raw or SmackDown because...
and here's the deal, though. If it goes into like a real big investigation or like any court or legal shit, I mean, unless they tell him not to, why wouldn't you put yourself on TV? Yeah. You're going to get those views, baby. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's all about that business. It's about that money. So, it's one of those things. And like we were talking about that last show that we went forever. It's like, yeah, I don't like Vince. I don't like a lot of the shit he's done. But he's also responsible for some of the biggest and my most favorite wrestlers in the world, like giving them the opportunities to be how big they became and all that kind of shit. Like Bobby Heenan, someone that wouldn't have had probably the career he had if it wasn't for WWF at that time, shit like that. So like I will always respect that business stuff like that, but this is just, and you hear like the people backstage, because this is also coming right off the heels of Naomi and Sasha walking out, and that was the big thing going on, and all that shit. So yeah, it's like they're just dealing with a lot of shit. Plus, he just settled with that dude from the XFL that was suing him for wrongfully firing him and shit. Like, dude's handing money out right now. Like, he's handing money. Like, I wish I had an NDA to sign with Vince McMahon right now. Fucking sign me up for that club. I'll take that money. And now, what are the odds of the giant work? You never freaking know in wrestling. You'd like to think it isn't, because this all started with an article on the Wall Street Journal, which you would hope that, I mean, let's be honest, guys, they're not like tricking us into watching Raw every week for the last 2 years. I hope they're not good enough to dupe the Wall Street Journal into a storyline. That would be pretty shitty, but it's
so, and here's the thing, right? So I mentioned that I was going to try and watch it Saturday. I forgot that Hulu can't show that latest episode of SmackDown until it airs on FS1 or FS2 on Saturday night. So I again watched it Sunday morning. I ended up watching through the end or the start of the Madcap Moss Happy Corbin, and that was it. I did not know Madcap Moss was from fucking Minneapolis.
Yeah, man. I seen him at an NXT show come out and do a in-ring promo about, this is at Roy Wilkins, and he was all, I love Minnesota. I played for the U of M, go for football, blah, 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 blah. Then also he's like, but then I left because Minnesota sucks. And he just like went off, and everybody's like booing him. And I was like, yeah, Minnesota does suck. No, it doesn't.
JJ,
it doesn't matter.
I don't think so. Hey, JJ, let me ask you this, JJ. Would you rather Linda McMahon, Vanna White?
Wait, who or who?
Ooh, Vanna White still.
Vanna White. Vanna White. They're both a bag of bones, y'all.
Yeah, but Vanna White's still like fucking working out and like
she's an okay looking bag of bones, where Linda's just an old bag of bones.
You watched Wheel of Fortune lately?
Not like it's probably been like 3 or 4
No, but
years.
I'm just going off of Linda McMahon looked like an old granny lady
and
20 years ago.
Her whole fucking career, dude. Like, How fucking dare you? That's not even close.
No, there's no fucking.
So wait, you're saying wait. You're saying you would go with Linda?
No, I'm not. I'm
No,
just.
but that's
I just
not the
posed
game,
the question.
JR. You have to pick one.
I don't have to. I posed the question.
She's
But
only
you
like
can't judge us for
16 years
picking
older than
one
you,
then.
motherfucker.
We only have two options.
Those
And
are the two.
JJ said Vanna too. JJ said Vanna too.
Vanna White, then it's not even close.
She's always turning tricks. I mean, letters.
That's a good question there. No one should take Linda for a spin though, because she's old, man. Like
All right.
she probably doesn't want to be taken for a spin now.
Marry, fuck, kill, Vanna, Linda, Vince.
Ooh, I'd marry Vanna because I think I could still live with that. I guess I would fuck Linda, get it over with, and then kill Vince. Because then the product would be better. I've said it before, motherfuckers.
No, see, I think you're right.
I don't know,
for
man.
the wrong reasons. I think it would be fuck Vanna. I think it would be marry Linda and kill Vince, because then Linda would get all that money.
Oh yeah, good call.
Use
I'm
your
with
brain,
JR.
man. Use your
I'm
brain.
with JR.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking too hard. I was just thinking like, I mean, I always had a thing for Vanna White when I was growing up. You know, always watched Wheel of Fortune. My mom and dad were into that shit.
Yeah, but you go take a peek at her poor face. It's
Whatever.
So bag of bones.
By the way, I want to give you guys a quick update on the Tom game. Ace and I are now level as far as being named opponents of our guest at 6 apiece. JR is way the fuck out there with 9 people picking him as manager. I am a distant second with 3 people, and Ace has only been picked 1 time. But Ace is still the leader as far as tag opponents. 6 fucking different times he's been chosen as a tag opponent or a tag team partner. So I realized I hadn't gotten to that before we fucking let Bill off the air. So I want to give that real quick as we were talking about F, Mary, Kill, Vanna, Linda, and Vince.
People need to know that.
They do. I mean, I want to make sure everybody's up to date as far as our standings with the Tom game.
So
it's our game, and I want to make sure that everybody's fucking aware that we're having fun with it.
Did you see there's 5 total law firms investigating this now too?
Yes, because WWE wants to make a thorough investigation of this. That's what they have said. And
He's got some he's hiding.
Well, let's be real honest with you. I mean, if you go back, if this is an 80s thing, man, that is the worst decade or best and worst decade for WWE, right? So you have WrestleMania starting, and then you also have the steroid era. If you top the steroid era with a possible illicit affair from the 80s, now you kind of level the playing field where maybe it's not the greatest wrestling company of all time, but I don't know, man.
I'm also reading too here. I'm just looking at some wrestling news because I know there was a lot going on, so I wanted to look. And I saw this. Tammy Stitch's attorney files motion to withdraw from DUI manslaughter case.
I bet that's a fucking treat for him. Her. Him or her, whoever.
An impasse has been reached in the handling of the case, making it impossible for the client and attorney to continue to work cooperatively on the case. The client has not complied with the terms of the employment agreement with this attorney. The client will not be prejudiced if the undersigned is permitted to withdraw. So basically what I'm hearing is dude's like, you did it. You can't get off it. And she's like, I didn't do it. What a crazy bitch, dude. Like, someone who had fallen, like, I mean, in the spotlight. I mean, you guys remember when she first came on the scene in like ECW and then WWF? I mean, she was like the chick. Everybody was like, fucking Sonny's so hot. Oh my God, Sonny. And now she's just a mess.
How old is she now? Does it say?
A fucking mess. Just a tub of goo. Not in this article. It doesn't. But I bet you someone in our chat room could throw out her age there. How old is Tammy Sitch? Fuck, dude, that's gross.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I mean, she was the most downloaded woman back when that fucking mattered, right? Like,
yeah, man.
It was like her and then like Jenny McCarthy and Pam Anderson. I mean, like it was some pretty fucking elite comedy there towards the end of the 90s when AOL was
40.
She's only 49?
She looks 60.
Yeah, she's
Jeez,
the most
man,
flat out
that's-
fucking 49-year-old I've ever fucking seen.
What's the term? Rode hard and put away wet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Shut up, JJ. You would not. You would not. I mean, well, actually, I have met you, JJ, so maybe you would. I kid. Also, no, I don't. God, I don't know, man. Like, she's in a lot of trouble, and I don't know if we ever talked about it here. I know we talked about it in the group chat, but we didn't talk about it on the show. Her trying to start that OnlyFans page, and everybody who fucking subscribed has already got their money back because the court ordered saying that she can't possibly do that shit to raise fucking money.
Yeah.
Oh man, like that is some sad ass shit, dude. Like she might as well start a Patreon. Like it would have been at least more fucking decent at the time.
JJ, you're awesome.
JJ, fucking,
I love it.
I mean, that's almost worse than all the fucking Veranganya jokes. I mean, but fair fucking point, man. Fair fucking point, dude. Oh shit! Let's talk about this though, real quick, because I haven't seen the episodes of Dynamite or Rampage from last week. Obviously, they had to change the tag team ladder match on the fly, with Jeff Hardy getting yet another DUI arrest, and then suspended, and Young Bucks, the first two-time tag team champions, when I was almost certain that it would be FTR. What do you guys think of that? I mean, it's not been the best week for wrestling. If we're really
okay, hang on a second. Before we move on to that, though, who said they would still do Sonny?
JJ
said-
Blood's alcohol.
You would still do this right here.
Dude, first of all, she's not bad. She's not bad looking for a trailer park. At any age.
Yeah. Like if you're looking to catch some blow real quick or something,
Dude, for real. Like, I'm not joking. You put her in the middle of fucking Florida, she's a fucking 10. You put her in fucking Wright County, Minnesota, she's a goddamn 10. You put her in downtown Minneapolis on the street, somebody would pay her $60 to screw them, probably.
JJ.
I'm just saying, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's limits to people's fucking profanity in nonsense, if you will. But 11.5 in Wright County, dude. No, and like I've been to Wright County. I'm thinking, okay, maybe Montrose. Okay, right. I've seen some real fine looking ladies in Monticello, in Buffalo, which Buffalo is a hard maybe most of the time, but I have seen some. And if you want to count Otsego, they got a Cowboy Jacks there, and I'm just saying, man, like go there. That's a deep cut Minnesota reference for y'all, but yeah. Anyhow, put her up in Benton County. She'd be fucking fire up there.
Nella, she is 49. Nella, I got to get a hold of you. You owe us a show. Remember that Timberwolves game you went to?
Yeah, that was some bullshit right there.
What the shit, Nella? I'm going to hit you up. You coming out in a couple weeks here.
So, yeah, Tim owes us a show, and then Jordan Max probably owes us a show, too. So,
yeah, but I'm not going to get demandy with her.
Well, I understand.
But yeah, no. Yeah, she said she'd come back, so I'll get that going, too. Yeah, man, that shit's pretty insane, though. And also, 2 referees passing this week.
Yeah.
Dave Ebner and Timmy White.
I found it interesting that
Fuck you, Tim Noah. God damn it. I'm trying not to fucking swear and like yell in my fucking apartment here, but fuck you, Tim.
Nobody else is there, are they?
It's yours.
No, nobody else is here, but I'm also trying to make sure that my fucking neighbors above and below me do not fucking hate me.
They gotta know you're fucking top shelf. Tell them to fuck off.
I have told them several times in the hallway, but
Like,
I don't want people to hate me just for the fucking sake of existing. I want them to hate me for real reasons. Like, I'm better than them. I own my.
How are they
condo.
going to know that if you're not yelling shit in your apartment?
Because they'll just know by looking at me. Okay, I dress.
Oh, that's-
I'm like,
no,
there's
you
no
need to
holes
yell.
in my shirt. Like
you
that's
need
another
to
one.
Tammy Sitch that fucking condo unit.
I'm gonna fucking DUI this shit. What the fuck are you talking
No, you
about?
need to act like you're DUI. You're fucking 24/7, baby. It's like you'd be like, hey, I'm hanging and I'm banging.
Clanging
Get the
and
fuck out
banging.
of 302 if you don't like it.
It's true.
That's how you act.
I represent that top shelf life at a 100% level.
I'll tell you what, at my house now, I sit out on the lawn. It's supposed to be common area, but somebody comes along with their dog. I give them the fucking eye. They walk across the street and shit on the other side of the road.
You are fucking a horrifying human being then.
No, I am not. I love animals. I don't like people.
Oh Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
So Jeff Hardy though, and that whole ordeal.
Oh my God. Yeah. Talk about get below the fold.
Well,
So-
My God.
I mean, so like the also thing was though is, do you think he was all fucked up because he found out about the because that's this brain scan is coming into play now. Like he got pulled from the tag match because of this brain scan. Apparently, they were waiting for these results, and then all of a sudden he gets this Dewey in the mid. I guess he even told the cops he was like waiting for these brain scan results.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, what do you think is going to come back in that?
I think he's in deep trouble. And I think he's in deep trouble. And part of it, I mean, and having a lot of siblings, I know that sometimes you want to watch out for your siblings, but sometimes you can't. You sometimes have to say, enough is a goddamn enough. And yeah, Tommy would be proud.
Tammy.
Maybe they can get mixed tag. But the
I
thing
saw like a kayfabe news article where it was Jeff Hardy and Sonny run into each other at the booking station.
Well, if it was a .029, obviously he got it because he does have priors. He has 2 prior in the last 10 years, and that means it's an automatic DUI on your third with any blood alcohol level above 0.000.
well, and this was down in Florida, and
Was it a .029? I thought it was a .29.
I think it was a .29. I think JJ may have had the 0, but either way, like I said, if you've had 2 priors, and it doesn't matter what state, I think it's across the board. If you have 2 priors in the last 10 years, they have to give you DUI of any blood alcohol level. Basically, because you become like a truck driver. Truck drivers can't have a they can't have over a .04 if you have a Class A license.
Yeah, they pull your CDL, right?
Yep. And then, but basically at that point, you are 0 is what you should be blowing. I mean, almost everybody has an interlock after 2 in their vehicle because of the fact that so many people have done it again. I mean, hell,
Well, that's one of the big questions. See, yeah, somebody rented this. Somehow that car was rented for him, or they didn't give a shit because he's supposed to have interlock. He's supposed to not be able to rent that car. Somehow he got it.
Well, I don't think that comes back as far as a car rental because I don't know the laws on that and what
you have
it says.
to have a valid driver's license to rent a car.
Well, you can still have a driver's license and have past DUIs. That's the whole thing. Like that's why you have like whiskey plates on cars is because you are more likely to get pulled over.
It was a .294.
Okay. But I mean, and that's why you have the whiskey plates because you still have you are a valid licensed driver. And I don't know what might come up as far as rental cars because I've also never had a Dewey or DWI or anything like that because I'm top shelf. I can afford a goddamn car to drive me home if I've had too much, which I never have because I know my limits because I'm a goddamn respectable human being, which you all should be. I mean, I know JJ's over here with the blood alcohol content because he's a fucking loser. Actually, I'm kidding, JJ. I love you so much. Thank you for the bits and subs that you gave. And thank you for the hype train. Anyhow, that's my goodwill for the fucking year.
I will say this, though. In the whole thing, the one thing that kind of cleared up for me again was Matt Hardy's wife is kind of a fucking psycho.
I seen that she was attacking fans when they said that Matt was an enabler. I didn't read to see what she said because usually she just says nonsense anyways. But I mean, that was just bad timing on Matt's part to post a picture of them like coming home from that vacation, be like, "We had the best time ever," blah blah blah. Then like that next like hours later, Jeff gets pulled over. It's one of these things, though. You see some of these guys in this world and at this level and have these issues, but we don't see them ever getting the help. And it is funny to worth note that, remember when we all just were like, oh, he was just upset with WWE. Remember that? When he hopped out the crowd and all that. Like, was he? They wanted him to go in for that brain evaluation and all shit. He didn't want to do it, or they wanted to send him to treatment. He wouldn't do it. Dan. Danny, you the man. And then, now you have this going on. So, but then you look at people like Uso, you know what I mean? Like there's these guys who they can't stop drinking when they're out on the road and all this shit. And they are repeatedly getting hit for it, but we're never seeing them get the help right now. And that's the scary part.
So with WWE, they're supposed to be, I mean, because they've helped past wrestlers, right? Like even people that have fallen out, but they still need to take advantage of their, like, not alumni, but
just people who've been in the company.
Yeah, like their veteran membership kind of thing or whatever the fuck it is. They've helped a lot of people as far as treatment programs, and we've seen wellness violations be suspended. But look at the guy who is head of the table right now. Before he was head of the table, he had a wellness violation. And I'm not saying that Roman Reigns is involved with any of this shit as far as like, I think he might have learned his lessons, but I mean, it's still in the bloodline, if you will. And they don't do a whole lot if you're the top stars. Like, they won't throw you out. And even WWE kind of knew that Jeff Hardy was still a draw for a lot of fans. Like a lot of people who grew up as Jeff Hardy fans, or people who knew him as that, Swanton Bomb laying mother effer. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you have fans, you have some power there in WWE. Like, you won't get suspended for a lot of shit unless they know they can have something else. Like, if you suspend Roman Reigns right now as if he had a wellness violation, good fucking luck, dude. I mean, not only is he holding 2 belts, but like, he is the major reason that anybody's tuning in right now.
Yeah, you're right. They had to they had to use their Brock Lesnar fire extinguisher to put out the big fire of not having anybody to do anything with Roman Reigns.
Well, and they should be able to like push Bobby Lashley or Drew McIntyre. Like, legitimately, those are 2 guys who would be viable just by putting them in a scenario against Roman Reigns. Like, clearly,
but they're on Raw.
Because that fucking mattered. I mean, I understand, like, they're trying to keep the network shows separate, but
and that's, you talk about Reigns and plans and everything in WWE that's happening. Does this hurt, or will what may come out down the line? Because they already said there's probably multiple NDAs that we just only heard about the one of multiple affairs. So, and again, that's where you start asking, was it just office staff? Did talent? Were there any talent in this? We all know, what's his name and Rosa. Mike Hayes and Rosa had their history and shit behind the scenes. And we all seen what that did to her career. So, you never know.
You mean that her career existed because of that shit?
Well, yeah, but it also fucking put her life in the gutter because she became an alcoholic because of the guy. And he had her fall off the wagon when she did get clean. That it's just, you wonder, though, does this press, and if anything more comes out, hurt their hope of Rock coming for Mania? Like, because that is a guy that will not put himself in a situation where he's going to look bad, and he's beloved. So if we see more shit come out over the next couple months while this is an ongoing thing, does that hurt their chances of bringing him in? Does this spiral out of control to a point where he's like, I can't be involved with you guys right now?
Well, maybe, but I think there's a bigger question than that. And the bigger question is, what the fuck are they doing with the programming? Why does Roman Reigns, who is the champion, holds both belts or the belt, not appear on either fucking show. I mean, Raw is now 3 hours with no championship.
And that's shame on them for giving Roman the title and the contract where he can just have a light schedule now.
And the tag championship is now unified as well. The only thing they got on there is fucking Bianca Belair with the women's belt that anybody gives a shit about. And the show's 3 hours long.
And is Bayley still hurt, or are they just not pulling the fucking trigger on bringing her back yet?
I don't know.
Well, I thought I heard she was cleared. I could be wrong, but
so JR, here's the thing, right? So you brought up Bianca Belair. I don't even know who the SmackDown champion is. I mean, is it Charlotte? I don't fucking know.
Have a good one, JJ. Thanks as always.
Thank you, JJ.
Yeah, JJ.
We love it. We love the Vern turns.
Yeah, and thank you for the 500 bits on your way out the door. That's always appreciated as well.
JJ, Danny, everybody, thanks for hanging out.
This has been great. So, back to all this shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you give the guy a light schedule. And clearly, here's the thing with SmackDown, right? So it's primetime television. Yes, Fridays are not necessarily high viewing days, but you rerun it on FS1 Saturdays for anybody who didn't see it live on Fridays or whatever, or even record it or whatever. And if anybody has like streaming services, like I have Hulu, and I have for live TV, USA is all the way down. I had to fucking page forever to get down to USA Network. I only have to go a couple fucking push up of the buttons to go to FS1 or Fox, man. Like, it's very easy to get to those. So SmackDown's always going to be easier to find on that stuff because I don't have to worry about any kind of number or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to scroll down and find the network. And it's been a better product because they can't sustain 3 hours. And JR, you're completely right. Like, if you have two championships that are united and neither one of these teams is going to Raw. I mean, the Usos have been on Raw, but as I mentioned in our group chat again, man, like, and this is a little bit of backstage with everybody else, I'm so sick and tired of fucking seeing the Street Profits in any kind of program because they totally killed them with the whole fucking War Raider or Viking Raider shit where they were competing for the fucking title in non-wrestling events. Bowling, mini golf, all this other shit. Like, I do not give a two flying fucks about Street Profits or Viking Raiders because of that fucking program. Like, you told me basically their sideshow acts and tag teams don't matter. So why the fuck would I give any two fucking fucks about the Usos or anybody who's challenging them for the fucking titles? I do not care. Period.
I'm with you, brother. It's rough.
I have been just texted a request from one of our fans, Jesse Towler, who was asked if we would like to be on his show with him to promote whatever we want to do, have a little three-way kind of interview and watch some videos with him June the 29th at 5 p.m.
Well, I'm doing tomorrow, so I hope he didn't forget about that. But
he probably did because you're going on your own, going out into business for yourself. Are you?
He asked me directly, and it's because Jesse and I have a relationship outside of him just being a fan of the show. Him and I know each other from doing comedy, and then also taking some trips up to some steel toe shows up in St. Cloud.
Him and I used to wipe the same old guy's butt. So talk to me about how you're closer to him than I am, Tom.
Well, I mean, he also knows who the fucking draws of the show. So yeah, I'll do fucking back-to-back weeks on your show. I mean, as long as you don't have these fucking yahoos around, is what I'm saying. I'm willing to do whatever I need to be away from Ace and JR.
Right now,
that's a total lie.
And I will do it if you cancel Tom
Shut the fuck
tomorrow.
So This is also weird because I don't know if you guys saw, but King of the South was
Only if you
asking us to
cancel
do multiple shows a week. And unfortunately, with our schedules, because Tuesdays always seem to be the best. Like we could possibly maybe do a Monday here and there, and we do some watch-alongs with some pay-per-views. But it's very rare, and with JR's schedule of doing shows Friday or Saturday as far as comedy, my schedule with the sporadic shows I get, Ace always has something going on, whether it was DJing before or golf or even just doing, going to wrestling shows or helping out with wrestling shows. We just don't have time to necessarily do a second show a week. But apparently we can all appear on a fucking Jesse Teller show next week. But
bro, before you even hopped on, Jay and I were already throwing the idea of Thursdays around. If we could get the if we could get the views up a bit and it becomes a little bit more just worth the time that we can do it, we by all means wouldn't mind working out a second night, or at least every other week a second show or just something. We want to bring back trivia. We want to bring back all the stuff that we used to do.
Trivia shit was fun.
We had a good time doing it. It's been a while, so we'll get back to some special off weekend.
I'll say this.
Like that.
I'll say this. We are right now at 133 followers. If we can get up to 150, I would certainly be willing to entertain doing Thursday. But we also, now like we've had upwards of 15 people watching this stream. I'd like to see that closer to 20. So if you guys want to share around, and we're more than willing to do it, but it's kind of going to be a little bit worth it. Plus, we've all got our outside lives, and as Tom mentioned, we've all got things that we're doing other than our day jobs. This is kind of a labor of love here, gang. If we're honest, and we do it because we love to do it. We love to keep you entertained if we are. And so, yeah.
Well, and labor of love. I mentioned to these guys, I'm going to try and be doing some shows in September, early October for celebrating the 10 years of doing comedy, which is the whole reason I'm even on this show, is because I know JR, and then he introduced me to Ace, who's pains me to say, but they're both very cool individuals. And I do enjoy the show every week as much as I try and, hammer home that I don't, and that this is literally for their benefit, which it kind of is, but I digress.
And we want you guys in the chat, just so you know, if we could get rid of Tom, we would.
I'm not only am I top shelf, I'm also top class, and I'm the whole reason that most of these people even tune in nowadays, JR. So
Jesse,
again,
did you know me before you knew Tom? Jesse's right there in the chat, but we're trying to get him.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, Tom, Jesse. No, certainly. I would be willing to come on with you next week on Wednesday. I don't know if Ace can.
I can do next week.
Next Wednesday.
Also, update for the Absolute Pro Wrestling show. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Blair Onyx got hurt this week, guys.
Oh no shit.
I saw that she was on some shows. She was actually, I think, booked to come to the cities. I don't know.
Either way, she has canceled all future endeavors, which means she will not be at Absolute Pro Wrestling August 27th. Instead, Kelsey Magnolia will take on Sage Hill.
Wow.
So shout out to Blair Onyx, speedy recovery. That's a really good independent talent we all like here. So
also, just to FYI, Jesse just told me that he double booked tomorrow, so I won't be on his podcast. I'm going to now be
nice one, Jesse.
I'm updating my fucking schedule. Fuck you, Jesse.
What is one of your cats going to be on, Jesse? I hope you have one of your cats on tomorrow.
Yeah,
or a piece of paper. That'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay, guys. Let's. What I was gonna do is I'm gonna read this off real quick, and then we should close out show. But fucking ads! Oh my god! Give me 1 second here. All right,
Jesus, stop swearing at the ads, man.
Would you?
People got to make a living.
Obviously, none of us were able to go to WrestlePalooza this last weekend. It was on Father's Day. That's just a hard weekend to get around and do some stuff.
I was at town too, so.
What's that? And you were gone. Well, yeah. It was just not a great weekend for us to make it to a WrestlePalooza, so we were not at this one, but they made a major announcement, and it's making news like kind of national news now.
Hmm.
And that is First Wrestling is bringing their wrestling to the Mall of America in September for the Saturday Night Nitro professional wrestling event. It's going to be September 10th, the Mall of America Rotunda, which is exactly where they did WCW Nitro.
The first,
The very
Nitro.
first one, where you could also go to Pasta Mania, brother, get yourself some linguine, yeah, and some meatballs.
You're sounding too much.
Oh
like
yeah, that's Macho Man.
Grease.
Yeah, sorry, Hogan. They both sound like idiots at times.
Well, fair.
Hogan would be like, "Yo, get your spaghetti, brother." Yeah. They're gonna have ground floor seating. That's where the tickets come in, boys, that you keep asking about. And then balcony views from 3 floor above, which that'll be shitty. Get your tickets if you want to enjoy this. And this is a part of the MOA's 30th anniversary celebration. People ask why this is happening. There was speculation that maybe they're gonna do this during Full Gear weekend. According to the MOA executive Chris Gatt, he said that they've had countless requests to bring wrestling back since Monday Night Raw took place there.
Nitro.
Nitro, sorry. And he says they've now been heard and they couldn't be more thrilled to do it. And again, First Wrestling is going to deliver a Night of Action pack. Wrestling, I mean, what better company to do it? So tickets go on sale this Friday, June 24th, 10 a.m. They expect the event to sell out. So if you want tickets to this, you're going to have to get them. I know we're all going to be trying to get them because this might actually be a hard one. And to be honest, I don't get a ticket. I probably won't even try to go because I don't want to stand around waiting for hours just so I can see it. Anyways.
I'm not going to lie.
Deal.
If I get a ticket, I might still go up to the second, third, or fourth level of the Rotunda just to get some photos and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, for sure. But if that's where I have to stand the whole time, because that's just a long day, then you got to get there. Let's be honest, you probably got to stand there for 3-4 hours to hold your spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the mall. Ugh.
Well, and the worst thing about it, and I don't know who's lined up for House of Comedy, but I couldn't imagine where you drive into House or walk into Mall of America and you see a plethora of people and they are not coming to your fucking show on the 4th floor of Mall of America. But
I'll tell you what, though, when they start making announcements for this show, dude, that's going to be exciting because I'm excited to see the talent that's going to be down there. We know a lot of talent that comes through there.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Starks is a mainstay for First Wrestling. I can only imagine she's going to geek out getting to wrestle in the Mall of America like any of them would. So,
you mentioned talent. The last time they had the Saturday Night Nitro was at Rosedale, and Big Cat Bill Williams mentioned it as well tonight that show had Orange Cassidy and Danhausen on it.
Yeah.
So
and that was just those two. There was like 3 other names on that show too.
Right. And
so they're gonna bring some names, guys. You don't think the mall's kicking some money into that too to be like, yeah, we'll fly a couple of these people. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some names fly in that were maybe at that first Nitro. Like,
well,
if I wouldn't be surprised if Bischoff's there. I wouldn't be surprised if Luger's there. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Sting.
Well, and even that, like, if anybody is a fan of some of the vlogs of, especially the AEW people, being the Elite when they went to, or when they were here for Full Gear weekend, Matt and Nick went clearly to Mall America as you would, and they took a picture from the Rotunda as well, like everybody has, with where that ring was for Monday Night Nitro. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this goes that high to AEW, where you see some of their talent come in, and this might be like a pseudo one-off.
Well, First Wrestling's already, bringing AEW talent in on the regular, so it's a perfect fit. It's going to be a really cool show. I can't wait. We're going to get tickets, hopefully.
Well, and again, with the different connections that First guys have. I mean, JDX was mentioned earlier tonight. He's down in Atlanta doing a lot of Nightmare Factory stuff, along with John Gresham's promotion down there. So I wouldn't be surprised if you somehow see an ROH title match as well. I'm not trying to speculate to get anybody to buy because I still want to get fucking tickets, and it's going to be a busy fucking day of buying tickets with the
nice thing though is Dynamite ain't going to sell out.
No, but Dynamite won't sell out, so that's another thing. So, anybody again,
Not that
Midwest
day. Like
or-
you'll be able to buy your tickets with the Friday for Dynamite, like later
Yeah.
in the day, and get them.
Right.
The Mall of America show.
That's gonna
that
sell
one,
out, man.
that's gonna sell. Like
and-
we're all gonna be sitting there right at 10. Like, come on.
So here's the one thing that I'm excited about, because we've
Thank
talked
God
multiple
it's
times
payday on Friday.
with WrestlePalooza being kind of a hipster show and not a lot of fun for wrestling fans in from our perspective, right? With all the other stuff you had with burlesque and even the show they had this last night, they had a drag show along with it with celebrating Pride. And some of that shit with WrestlePalooza is fun and it's, kitschy. And I appreciate the fact that it brings in some extra people, but some of those people are also douchebags, and I hate fucking being around them.
Yeah, and that's more the reason to have a seat at the show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not worth going.
Yeah. That's why we go to the Baja show. That's why we go to the fucking Temple of Aaron show. And that's why we were going to try and get Mall America tickets, because it's a fun fucking thing. And, honestly, I'm just excited to be a wrestling fan right now because there's so many fucking fun things happening. Dan's mentioned several times, and some of those Oshkosh shows are fucking huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Bischoff loves it up here. They still have family in Minnesota.
Yeah, because he's from here.
Yeah. So like
AWA days, man.
Yeah. So like Garrett still comes up here sometimes in like vacations. So they love it up here in Minnesota. So yeah, any reason for the Bischoffs to come, they're about it. Shout out to them too, Garrett Bischoff's. The big night last week. Garrett Bischoff, Wes Briscoe making their Aces and Eights return with D'Lo Brown on Impact. The boys looked good. My brother Wes looked real good. It was great to see them on screen.
Not only that, but if anybody has a chance, I haven't been able to take the chance myself. Some of the clips I've seen from Instagram of Slammiversary this last weekend, dude, shit, man, that looked like a hell of a good show. And some odd surprises during the show too. So not to spoil it, because I encourage everybody to kind of go and support as much as you can. But it might be worth trying to get the rear air on Fight for everybody.
Yeah, Dixie Carter was there trying to blow wrestlers again.
I'm not worried about that one. That's not what I'm fucking talking about. That's not what I'm fucking talking about.
Oh, you are.
It's not.
I actually don't know what you're talking about because I didn't watch it. Or I haven't heard anything about it really, to be honest. But again, yeah, I was just happy to see the Aces and Eights return and see my brother Wes get some time on TV. That's always a pleasure. So I don't know. We got stuff going. We're going to start putting the show together for the Waterloo weekend. That's coming up, guys. Get your passes. George Tragu's Luthez Hall of Fame induction weekend. They just announced they're doing right now. If you follow on Facebook, they're going through and putting out a list of events of each day. Yesterday they announced, or 2 days ago, they announced the podcast roundtable discussion that's going to happen, as well as a meet and greet and merch chances for all the podcasts to meet the fans afterwards. You're looking at two of the guys who are going to be probably sitting on that round table right there.
That's right. And here I'm the fucking bad guy around here. JR just throws the fucking double birds up, and I'm the fucking bad guy.
And I know Shotgun
the
Radio
do that all the time.
And I know Shotgun Radio Zach Takes is going to be up there with you boys as well. So yeah, that's going to be a good time. Me and Wes will have our live show, and then of course the big wrestling show Friday night. The introduction, the ceremony for the Hall of Fame inductions on Saturday as well. Trish Stratus, JJ Dillon, JBL, Jim Ross is getting inducted. That's right. You got Jonathan Grisham, Colt Cabana. Who else is coming? Obviously Jerry Briscoe, Thunderbolt Patterson. Can't remember if Sarge is coming this year.
John Nord.
Guys, there's so many more coming. I just can't remember. So
it's a big list. It's hard to remember.
But it is well worth it. Get your all access pass. Join us for Hall of Fame weekend. It's gonna be great.
We have a guest next week.
We don't.
No, it's us talking like this again, which is
gonna be us.
Fun.
Damn, that'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything going on this weekend, Tommy?
Hopefully more shit gets crazy this week with WWE. We'll definitely have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't have anything this weekend because I have a wedding reception that's 2 years in the making on Saturday.
Oh, snap.
nice.
Tommy's gonna be
When people
drunk.
get married during COVID, they gotta spread the shit out. So that's Saturday night. Friday, I might try to do a guest spot at House of Comedy that night, but I don't think so.
There it is.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you for all the cheering. Thank you for the hype train. Thank you for hanging with us for this long. We always appreciate it very much. We hope you have as much fun as we do. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.